Hello everyone, my name is Eric Kennecke and I'm very excited that you have chosen to join us here for the Certified Healthcare Supply Chain Analyst Certification Program. There is much to talk about, but before we dive into the certification exam modules, I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking to you about what you can expect from the certification program. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce myself, a little bit about what will happen during the program, and then talk through what will happen after the conclusion of the program, sitting for the examination. Shall we begin? Let's get started. Before we start, I'd like to introduce myself as your course instructor and tell you a little bit about my background in the supply chain management area. I spent 5 years in manufacturing supply chain before going to Mayo Clinic Supply Chain Management back in 2007. Now, many of you are familiar with Mayo Clinic. We're one of the world's best and well-known research and hospital facilities on the globe. I myself reside in Rochester, Minnesota, which is where the flagship campus of Mayo Clinic is located. And I've had the pleasure and honor of serving in the Division of Supply Chain Management the entire time that I've been at Mayo Clinic. I've learned a lot about healthcare supply chain and how it varies from manufacturing supply chain, which is a question I suspect many of you are thinking about. Why is it that we would specifically focus on healthcare supply chain? Well, I'll tell you why. Having sat in both camps, both manufacturing and healthcare, I can tell you the two worlds are quite different. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. You'll also notice, based on my experience, that I'm an instructor and have my PhD as well and teach on a part-time basis. Development of this particular certification for the ISCEA was a very special opportunity for me to be able to share my healthcare supply chain experience with all of you. I also would like to thank the incredible Healthcare Advisory Board, and they're listed here. They have put in hours of their time to help shape this program to make it truly a global and globally recognized healthcare supply chain certification program. Without their help, I would never have been able to create such an incredible program for all of you, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed putting it together. Now, before we get started with the first module, I wanted to take a step back and talk to you about what it is that you can expect during this module and during this program. Listed here, you will see a series of 15 modules or sessions that I will be facilitating, and they fall into 4 primary categories: foundational topics, planning and strategy, tactical considerations, and some related topics. Now, I want to be clear. The beginning of this certification program will cover some of the fundamentals of supply chain management that are true both inside and outside of healthcare. So some of the concepts and topics that we will cover in the first section or 2 sections will sound most likely very familiar to those of you who have dabbled in or studied supply chain management in the past. Okay? Bear with me. As we step into the healthcare supply chain issues and proceed forward, you will start to see some very distinct differences in how supply chain operates in the healthcare vertical. So with that, I welcome you to the program. I look forward to being with you, learning with you, teaching you what I know, and I also look forward to seeing what you bring out of the program. Best wishes, and let's get started.